Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Thank you guys so much for being here, as we do each and every Tuesday night across our social media platforms. Joining me tonight, we have Jacob Terrell, Earl Nieto, and guys, happy to be here. Glad you guys are both with me, although you were both late this evening.
I was right on time.
Sir, I got no link.
That is bullcrap because Jacob got the link and he was on the same exact email.
I got nothing. I've been sitting here since 8:45.
I blame your email then, Earl. I sent the link out at 7:52. Jacob got it, so
I blame the sender.
Well, if Jacob got it, how did you not get it? That's the question then.
How do you know Jacob got it?
Because Jacob was in the show. That's how I know that Jacob got it. But no, I do appreciate you guys being here. We've got a lot to get to this evening. But before we do jump into the meat and potatoes of our show this week, and Jacob's on the phone. I was going to throw it to Jacob because Jacob wanted to do the burning question this week, but Jacob's on the phone. So, Earl, I'm going to ask you straight off the bat, how would you rate SummerSlam from Saturday evening?
Definitely a solid 8.5.
3.5. Oh, sorry.
Okay, two vastly different scores on the rating for SummerSlam.
And as you
Saturday.
can see, if you can look at the private chat, there is a homage to.
Oh, there's a private chat
quotes.
Oh, right.
There you go.
As soon as I was muted and we had 28 seconds, the only thing I can think of is, damn it, count faster.
Yeah, Saturday was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't watch the USO match. I really didn't care too much about that one. Plus, I was getting the boys in bed at the time. But I did watch the rest of it, and I have to say that it was an enjoyable premium event over on Peacock. Earl, what's your takeaway from SummerSlam on Saturday? And I know Jacob had a very big question about Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. My takeaway is it was a good show. I mean, I was hoping for a certain return that didn't happen, but it's okay. But overall, like I said, a solid 8.5.
So, did Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar live up to the hype?
Yes.
Okay. Was it? So you enjoyed it?
Spoiler alert to whoever hasn't watched SummerSlam: Brock Lesnar brings out a fucking tractor. How much more enjoyable can that be?
Well, so I have other friends that are into wrestling, believe it or not. And
wait,
I was
other friends?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Hold on. I do believe the text was pictures or it's not true.
Yeah. Okay, I'll show you. Anyways, Facebook friends. So not real friends, but they had
Burner
both
accounts.
of them.
Got it.
Both of them had different feelings on the main event there. So just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
So my thoughts on the main event was it lives up to the hype. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Brock Lesnar driving out a fucking tractor and practically flipping the ring. That was interesting. I've never seen that in my life. But the brutality of it, I mean, it was well scripted out. Do I think that the Usos had to get involved for Roman Reigns to win? No. I really don't. I think Roman Reigns could have won cleanly and made it more of a solidified win, but that's okay because that's who the Usos are, so it's whatever. I was happy that Theory didn't cash in, and in fact got his ass whooped for trying to. And now on to Clash at the Castle in September.
So yeah, we're gonna get to that here. But I do have a question about that. But yeah, watching that main event, particularly on Saturday, I mean, I enjoyed all the matches that I saw. I felt like the Pat McAfee one was a lot of fun. I felt like the Mysterio match was a lot of fun. Especially the return of Edge. I thought for half a second that Kane was going to come out when the lights went down, but of course, Kane showed up later. But yeah, watching that main event, watching the tractor come down.
Wait, Kane showed up?
Yeah. Mayor Kane showed up. So
Yeah, he announced the attendance as
Jacob obviously doesn't know this, but Kane is the mayor of a city in Tennessee.
Knoxville,
Actually,
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think I did know that, but I think I blocked it out of my mind for some reason.
Yeah, he is a mayor of Knoxville. So yeah, but yeah, I saw that tractor come out. I thought for sure they would use the tractor to pin one of them. So
I was happy they didn't.
Yeah, I really was. I was glad that they didn't because I felt like that would have been kind of a cop out, you know. But yeah, I guess you see Theory come in, and I'm glad Theory didn't have anything to do with anything. Glad to see him lose both opportunities, basically. But yeah, that
well, no,
Brock,
he still has his opportunity.
I know he does, but like basically him not get the opportunity, you know. But yeah, I you know, seeing the way that the Brock Roman match ended, I thought it was really entertaining. Great. It was a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoyed it.
It lived up to its hype of sports entertainment.
Yeah, it really did.
That's for sure.
So going on to Clash at the Castle, this is a pay-per-view that I don't think we've ever seen before, at least in terms of title.
So this is also the first time ever that WWE has done a premium live event or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, in England or in the English territories.
Like 20 years or something, 30 years, right?
Ever.
Okay. I know they were saying it's the first time that they've been over there in something about like since like the 90s, but
yeah, it's the first time they've been over there.
Okay.
But the last time they were there, it wasn't a premium event or a pay-per-view. It was just a I don't know what the fuck's playing on my phone, but it just randomly started playing. But yeah, so it's the first ever premium live event or pay-per-view to be in the English territories. And I am pretty excited for it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be interesting. All I know so far is that Seth freaking Rollins is trying to start some beef with Roman. It sounds like. Then you've got Roman and Drew McIntyre set to be the title card for that, or the title, the main event, I should say, for that card. So, looking at Clash at the Castle, I mean, number one, how big of a deal is this in terms of WWE and their exposure, particularly in the UK? And do you think this is a match where Drew gets over on Roman?
So it is a very big deal, especially for exposure, especially for the post Vince era. With it being Triple H in charge, you can definitely tell someone else is in charge. Especially if you watched Raw last night. Do I think Drew gets over on Roman? That's hard to say. Drew's a very talented athlete. He's built like a freaking stone. And his Sword Angela is freaking incredible. But no, I don't think Drew gets over on Roman Reigns.
Okay. All right. And so there was one moment during the premium event on Saturday where I sent a text in our group chat and you didn't want spoilers because I guess you were in town for whatever reason instead of watching your premium live event.
Dude, I was on a date night with my wife across the street from your freaking apartment.
You have talked about SummerSlam for like a month.
I know. And I had a job fair Saturday morning till 2. One of my buddies told me about live horse racing, which my wife has been wanting to go to forever. And it was just happening to happen on Saturday night. So I decided, hey, let's go to horse racing. And so we went to horse racing.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Date night with the wife.
Next time you go, let me know or I'll go with you.
I would have come. I'd have thrown down a couple bucks. Like, you know.
My stepdad owned racehorses for a little while when him and my mom first got together.
Oh, all right.
Fascinating stuff.
So it's every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Obviously, I won't be going to the Saturday one because there's soccer this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be going to Sunday because it's Sunday and it happens late at night, and I have work Monday morning. So
it doesn't happen late at night.
It goes to like 11 o'clock at night. What's up, Harry?
Harry, how you doing, bud?
That doesn't mean you have to stay till 11 o'clock at night.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's almost horse racing. Yes. So, Harry, I don't know how much you got around town when you were over here, but there's actually a racetrack right down the road from my apartment. They do live horse races there, and they do show different races from around the country as well. So that's what we're talking about. Earl and his wife were there on a date last weekend. So
Can we not talk about the different races from other horse areas?
Sure, we won't bring that up. But
It's,
anyway,
it's 10 minutes in. We finally saw Stroke Earl. So that's a new record.
but I did want to ask you, Earl. So there were, so I mentioned something about some walkouts after the Bianca Becky Lynch match, and so I'm curious. I didn't know who any of those other competitors were that came out. Apparently, it turned into a thing on Monday night as well. I guess Becky Lynch now has an injury that's going to keep her out for an extended period of time.
So
who are these walkouts, and what significance does that have?
So first off, let's address the Becky Lynch injury, where she separated her shoulder 20 minutes before the match ended, and still competed with the separated shoulder. So that's just incredible there on that note. The ones that walked out, the first one was Bayley. Harry, by the way, I will.
Harry, I know Trish Stratus. That's what I know. I don't know Bayley.
So Harry, when I see you ever, I will fight you for misspelling Bayley's name because it's not Bailey.
So you'll fight him for misspelling it, but you won't fight Seth for not knowing who she. I even know who she is, and I don't have anything to do with wrestling.
No, ignorance is bliss, so it's all right.
Just I know like Alexa Bliss.
My point. So the first one was Bayley, and Harry, I do love you for knowing who Bayley is. She was one of the greatest women's champions in the modern era. And I say modern era being post Trish Stratus and Lita, that decade. Okay. She's one of the greatest ones. She is also the host of Ding Dong Hello. It's one of the shows that are segments that they have on Raw. It's pretty entertaining. She's also my future ex-wife, just for everyone listening. And then the other one was Io Shirai, who changed her name overnight to Io Sky. She is a Japanese wrestler. She's a Japanese wrestler who was she's incredible. She's high flying. She's very energetic. She's a fun one to watch. And then the other one was Dakota Kai, who was a decent competitor for NXT. She's one of the Triple H favorites, so obviously she picked up the call up for sure. And to answer Harry's question, Lita or Trish?
Lita.
Make sure my wife's not. So it depends on what kind of match. If we're going in the non-PG era, in the like bra and panties match or the mud wrestling match, I got Trish all day. But if we're going just a regular ring match, then Lita.
All right. So, yeah, so I think that kind of answers all the questions that I had. And I'm glad we got to do a little bit of a postmortem on SummerSlam. As Earl mentioned, next up is Clash at the Castle in September. That's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens.
The correct answer, by the way, is Stacy Keibler, but go on.
Ooh. That's not a bad shot right there. But, I grew up in the era of Miss Elizabeth, so,
God, you're old.
He grew up in the era of fabulous Moolah.
Oh man,
kids! For those of you who don't know, Fabulous Moolah, just Google it.
Don't.
Lita was actually
Fabulous Moolah was one of the greatest wrestlers ever. And she's also the childbearer to Mark Henry's kid. For those of you who don't know who Mark Henry is.
Oh, that storyline was just terrible.
No wonder my life is all fucked. I grew up in a terrible time where I saw Snitsky punt a kid. Great times. Anyways, we can move on to talk about soccer if you guys
Did
want.
that sentence literally just come out on this podcast?
Yes.
Punt a kick was literally just said on this podcast.
Yeah, that was the thing. But yeah, as Earl said, we can't go ahead and move on, and so that is our wrestle talk for this week. We probably won't talk anything.
So
Go
we
ahead.
can talk about something very unenjoyable from the weekend, is what you're saying.
Yes, we can. So Jacob, I know you had a question over in our group chat, so we'll throw this week's burning question over to you that you can present it to everyone on the show this week.
Okay, that works. I was gonna work it into talking about the team, but have the new guys lived up to the hype or lack thereof when we signed them? Have they exceeded or met or not exceeded your expectations when then signing was announced?
I mean, I'll jump in on this one first. For me, I feel like
That's good because Earl was asleep apparently.
Yeah, obviously. Harry, yes, it actually is, and we will get to that here in just a little bit because we all have some thoughts.
We have some thoughts, Harry.
Yeah, we have some thoughts on how that match went on Saturday. Or on Sunday, I should say.
Notice I was drinking water today instead of a whiskey sour because I feel like if I had a whiskey sour or two, something might get broken.
Yeah, no, we definitely have some thoughts on that, Harry. We will get to that here in just a second. For me, I feel like guys like Will and Alexi and Justin have outperformed the expectations that we had. Will has been absolutely fantastic for us this year. I feel like he's a guy he's come in, he's stepped into multiple roles. He's filled in at the back. He's played the midfield now. He's a guy that I was excited for coming into the season when we saw that signing, but I feel like he's outperformed the expectations that I had. Justin Portillo's done well. I feel like Alexi in his limited time that he's done well also. I feel like we've seen some growth from him from preseason to now. And I think he's a guy that I would like to see over the next couple seasons remain with the black and yellow and continue to develop alongside Will and Kalen and get some more opportunities. Nico's been fine. He's had moments of brilliance. He's had moments where he's had some issues. I feel like Preston is probably the only one that I haven't seen enough out of to say that he's lived up to the expectations.
Kiesewetter?
Jerome, he's done well. I'd say he's done well in the time that he's had. Obviously, people have given him some stick for being a little bit of a shithouser, but he's inserted himself into matches. He's been a presence up top, and he's drawn the attention of defenders, and it's worked to our advantage at times. And so I feel like he's been given the opportunities. He's stepped in and he's done well. Would I have liked to have seen him score more goals? Obviously, but part of his role alongside the pacey guys like Preston and Nico, and now that we have Amando back in the fold, is he's going to be there more for that hold-up style of play and to draw the attention and get and create open space inside the box for other areas. And he's done well at that.
Earl. Alrighty, moving on.
Carry on. That's fine by me. So no, I'm almost the same as Seth. I mean, there has been some inconsistencies in the midfield, but overall there's oh dear God, Robert. But overall it's a pretty decent showing for the new guys that came in. The only one that probably hasn't really lived up to the hype is Ratty. I mean, their team, the Heart of Oaks, said that he's one of their best players, and we've seen him in maybe a handful of matches. And when I say a handful, I think 4. I said I think 4. So fact checkers, if you guys want to go and fact check that, that'd be great.
Now we'll go for it. Or
because I'm pretty sure it's.
I don't know.
I'm checking it.
I'm pretty sure it's close.
God forbid we put out bad information.
I think I know who that was a shot at, but I'm not sure.
Yes, that's absolutely who was a shot at.
Yeah,
Ratty
okay.
has 6 appearances and 227 minutes played,
So
not including the Open Cup.
So I have to push back on Ratty a little bit just because the minutes necessarily haven't been there. But when he's been in there, I thought he has looked spectacular.
Yeah.
I thought he's been a game changer on the matches that he's been in there for, especially the 2 that he started. I want to say 2.
Right, which
I
you're right.
fantastic.
You are right. He has been a game changer when he's in there, but he's never there.
But it's not. I don't think it's because he's hurt. It's because our back line has, like, if you look at the position that he plays, which is kind of Suggs' position, you have Suggs, you have Harry, you have Bruce, you've got Tete, or Yearwood we've seen up there a little bit. You've got Ratty.
Portillo play that role a little bit too.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we just have a lot of bodies to play that role.
Yeah, I think that's Ratty's issue.
That's just right. He's buried, is what it is. And that's what kind of bums me out and chaps my hide, I guess, for lack of better words, is the fact that he was so hyped up by his club when he got loaned out. They're heartbroken and pissed off at him, whatever the case was, for being loaned out. But then he's only seen six matches in, what are we at, 17 games now?
20.
Right. We still have 20 matches played.
Yeah, 6 matches and 20 matches. 6 appearances and 20 matches played. So that's where I'm at, is the hype of Ratty not being utilized more is the only thing that gets me.
Yeah, Ratty's got. I definitely want to. You're right, Jacob is 21, but yeah, I would love to see more of Ratty. Like, Ratty has been fantastic in his time on the pitch. We saw him a couple weeks ago, just absolutely take over that left side of the pitch. But yeah, it's just unfortunate, because we have so many guys that can play on the left. Now, I think Ratty has a little bit more versatility than a number of those guys. He definitely has. I definitely think he has pace on Josh. And Harry, but yeah, it's just, you've got Justin and Josh and Harry, and those guys have played so well down the left. Like, it's hard to find opportunities to get Ratty in there. I think we'll see him this week, in at least one of the 2 matches, because obviously 3 matches in 6 days, it's a great opportunity to get him in there, because he's a guy, he can deliver that ball in from the left too. We've seen him do it.
So can we all agree that the 3 most important new additions have been Justin, Nico, and maybe Jerome? Who's the third? Will, duh, yeah. Are those 3 kind of the 3 most important additions that we've made?
I think so. In terms of the impact that they've had on the season, yeah.
So different question.
Yeah, to date, yes, those have been the 3. Okay. Do I think Romario makes a bigger impact than what he did on this past weekend? Yeah, I can hope so.
Yeah, Romario, we'll talk about him when we talk about the game. But who have been your 3 favorite additions, if they are different?
Ford, dude, I love Ford. Ford has been a great addition. I feel like, the couple of opportunities we've seen him, he's done really well.
Leave it to Seth to just come out of left field with a backup goalkeeper that has only played because of an injury to Dembakis and has played twice in non-Open Cup games. Yeah. And that is Seth's favorite.
Dude, Ford is such a good addition. Like, he really is. Like, he came in the preseason, did well. He's done well in a few appearances he's had in competitive play for the club. I feel like, he's a guy. If Alex is not with the club past this season, then Ford is a guy that I can see being between the sticks going forward.
There's no way that continues.
Harry, you don't think Alex stays, or you don't think Alex goes?
I think if Alex goes, they go out and get another proven top tier USL goalkeeper. Okay. Because the aspirations for this club, as they've talked about ad nauseum the whole time that we've been a part of this, has been championship.
Yeah.
And I don't think they go in with Ford as their main option to a season that they're trying to win a championship. And that's nothing against Ford. He hasn't been proven. And sometimes
And
you need
also,
to catch lightning in a bottle like that, but I don't think they do that.
Yeah.
I don't think they try.
so for Harry's comment about them needing a backup goalkeeper if we have one, your name's not El Paso.
What is going on in El Paso, by the way? That's never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
we can get into that later if you want. But yeah, so Ford's been a guy that I've really enjoyed. Alexi has been a guy. I know haven't gotten a ton of minutes, but Alexi is a guy that's
disappointed in Alexi. Not so much. I mean, his performance has been solid.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good as I thought. Like I thought when we signed him from Lou City that he was going to be a everyday match in, match out, 90-minute guy.
But again, he's just buried.
But I thought he was a step above everybody else and was going to come in. And so I guess it's an expectation thing with me.
Yeah.
The expectation for me was that he was going to come in next to Kalen and just shut shit down. And those two positions we weren't going to have to worry about rotating because they were just going to be freaking lock it in and forget it. And that hasn't been the case, which part of it I think has been, Yearwood and Tete and Seymour have kind of stepped up, and in Seymour's case, we didn't really think he was going to be playing back there, but that's where he ended up playing, or playing some anyways. And okay, awesome. And I don't know if Swahi was injured a little bit to begin of the year because we saw him play what the first 2 or 3
real
matches.
Quick, Jacob. We have breaking news from Sombrero Man. Vince Scully has passed away.
Yeah, Vince Scully, Bill Russell. Who's the third?
Nichelle Nichols.
I don't know who that is.
Uhura from Star Trek. She died yesterday too.
No, but there'll be another sports related one. Wow. It happens in 30s.
Holy cow. Yeah, no. I mean, for me, it's Lieutenant Uhura, but holy crap, Vince Scully. I hate the Dodgers, but I would listen to Vince Scully all day long.
Facts. Well,
holy shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, expect a third sports person to pass away tomorrow.
Wow.
It's just the way these things go, which kind of sucks. Yeah, I don't know about that, but
I want to see Ford against the Red Bulls. I really did. I want to see him. I feel like he could have gotten the start there, especially with 3 matches in 6 days. But
I feel like this is
Alex. But.
I feel like this is a Philip Beigel, Cody Mizell situation all over again. I mean, he was we were calling for him to be played every once in a while, and it just the fact is that goalkeepers, unless there's an injury, they don't have a reason to rest. They don't run.
That's true.
They don't get the leg use that everybody else does, aside from kicking the long ball every now and then. So they just keep playing them because why not? You got a level A1 starter. You're gonna play him no matter what.
Yeah.
So I have to correct you on that because some goalkeepers do run. I am pointing at you and looking directly at you, Evan Newton, who is notorious to be found at the midfield line.
Okay. Well, I got a question. from the Red Bulls game, but I'll save it till we get to the game. Earl, who has been your favorite offseason acquisition?
I'm going to steal yours and go with Nico.
How'd you know that was mine?
I just know it.
It actually isn't.
Yeah, Nico's brought a spark to the offense that was lacking. I mean, he is... We'll talk about that later, Harry.
Earl is trying to switch his allegiances, apparently.
No, I think he just hates them so much. He hates El Paso as much as El Paso hates Seriously Loco.
Wow. Okay.
Oh God. Anyway, so Nico,
I'm curious, has the club walked that back?
I have not been on Twitter the last couple of days, hardly at all. So I do not know.
I haven't seen anything, but I would love to see if they walk that back.
Harry
Because
might.
that was a shot at Seriously Loco.
You know they haven't.
Probably
No, Earl's not moving to El Paso. He is permanently grounded with the state of New Mexico. Not only because I have a 6,700-year mortgage, but I also have a job with the state itself. So, kind of.
Harry said no, they have not walked it back.
I didn't think so, but wow, yeah, that was just a freaking shot. Like,
So, anyways,
I have to say that I don't think that's something that
I fucking hate it here.
I
fucking hate it here.
I don't
what
think that's
shirt are you
something that
wearing?
United or San Antonio would ever do.
Heat. Okay.
Like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know any club outside of El Paso that would do something like that. I mean, Harry, have you ever heard any other club or any official from a club come out and say something along those lines? Because I know I haven't, but anyway, Earl, carry on with your.
No, I'm already done. So go ahead.
Sorry,
I'll put it in the chat.
I feel
We
like
all
we've been
kinda got-
derailed.
Yeah, we all
So-
kind of got talked over a little bit there. So, I mean, we've kind of beat around the bush a little bit when it comes to Saturday. We've talked about our favorite players. Saturday, obviously, New Mexico United picked up a 2-1 win on the road at New York Red Bulls 2.
This will be the angriest victory podcast you've
Jesus.
ever heard from us or any other podcast I think I've ever seen.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Like this is what we've seen from United all year. Earl, go ahead and kick us off with this.
So before you get that far, do we have to?
Yes.
Yes, that's what we did. This is
I
what
need
we
to.
do.
I need to vent.
All right.
So
All right. Here we go. I don't know what the fuck I watched on Saturday night. Or yeah, it was Saturday.
Sunday.
What the fuck was it? Sunday night. Because Saturday was wrestling and I was happy. Then Sunday I was watching United, which I'm usually happy watching, and I wasn't. And I actually texted you guys what the fuck was that I watched. I personally think we did not play good. We were playing the bottom of the barrel, like they couldn't even scrape the dog shit off the bottom of the barrel, and yet we only put up 2 goals on them. One of those goals being a stoppage time goal that we were kind of lucky to get anyways because it was a header. So the fact that it took 90 plus minutes to score 2 goals on a team that's only scored 10 goals all season was very frustrating to watch. And look at me, I did my homework, and I came up with the 10 goals. Thank you, David, for the match notes, because I did read those.
does that mean
You read them?
I sure as fuck did.
Holy crap! What are we doing to you, Earl?
Wow.
Yeah, I took the next step.
He's turning into a soulless bastard.
Well, I mean, I had to clear some stuff on my email, so might as well watch that or read that. So I was very confused why we were playing so poorly against the poorest team in the league right now, but I'm going to stop before I lose my mind. It is 9:37. I do want to sleep tonight without any heart issues.
Yeah, Saturday was, and I know we kind of texted about this back and forth on Sunday evening. We keep saying Saturday. We're so used to playing on Saturdays, but it was a Sunday afternoon match for us. And, you know, Jacob, you kind of responded to Earl immediately. I started to type something out, and your response went through quicker, so I just stopped what I said. United played well in the first half. We absolutely dominated possession. We look at that. You look at the attack going forward. We created opportunities. We shut down what they wanted to do. We had the rotations through the midfield and the back line. And
so
you could see
let me stop you there.
Control the entire.
You know why we controlled the entire first half with possession?
Earl, if you say back passes,
because we didn't leave the fucking middle half. Our middle half of the fucking pitch.
That is bullshit.
The very first fucking minute,
bullshit.
The very first minute was nothing but back passes. We didn't even think about the midline or attacking the goalie, Citronella, whatever his name is.
Earl. No,
this
is a terrible take. This is such a bad take.
Keep away with our own keeper.
Such a
So
terrible
no,
take.
that's why we
Tim
maintain
has barely
possession.
touched the
Will
ball.
you shut your fucking snozzberry?
How I went through that. Earl, I let you finish. Okay. I didn't mute you. I didn't kick you out. Like I should
know.
have.
I was expecting it. That's why I kept going.
Yeah. No, the first half, I thought we picked them apart. We created chance after chance. If there was at least 2 plays that I feel bad because I'm so torn on Kiesewetter, but I always shit on him. And I shit on him because there were at least 2 passes that he missed by quite a bit, that if he's at anywhere near close with those passes, it's 3-0 at halftime. Easy. The most obvious one was after we had scored the first one, there was another opportunity, a 2-on-1.
Like 2 minutes later, yeah.
Yeah. And he tried to cross it to Nico, which probably was the right play because Nico was wide open. And seemed like he had acres of space to have put a pass that would have got the job done. And he literally kicked it right to the one defender that was between them.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't gone back and rewatched, so maybe it was a tougher pass than I'm imagining and remembering. But it was a play that I was just like, oh my gosh. No, Harry, it wasn't possession without direction. That is Earl's take, and we all know how Earl's takes go.
No, Earl's take is that was the direction was backwards.
Fair.
Because it was.
No, it wasn't, Earl. It was back and forth. It was tearing them apart. The way Red Bull press, you have to move the ball, ping, 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 ping. It's in that middle to their half, and that stretches them out, opens things up, and then you get that ball to Kiesewetter that we scored on. You get the ball to Kiesewetter that we should have scored on. You get a ball to Bruce on the opposite side on a switch that leaves him wide open. There are just time after time after time in that first half that we should have finished. We easily could have been up 3 or 4-0, and we really should have been. And I said at halftime, and somebody on this podcast told me to stop being a pessimist. And what happened? They fucking scored.
Yes, no,
like
absolutely.
That.
And you mentioned opportunities. There was also the opportunity where you had Nico and Jerome down 2v1 again. Nico was out on the left, Jerome on the right. Jerome opted to shoot the ball instead of lay the ball off to the left.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so there were chance after chance after chance. I feel like Kiesewetter should have laid that ball off. I think Nico had a better pass. I think it would have put the goalkeeper out of position a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's just missed opportunities. And then, yes, coming out into the second half, Red Bull's like, I feel like not dropping a second or third goal in that first half really gave Red Bulls the confidence that, hey, look, we're still in this.
Exactly.
And we just looked absolutely freaking flat in the second half. And Red Bulls looked so much better up until about the 60th minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, 60, 70 in there, then you start to see the subs coming in, and you see it start to swing back to United's favor. But yeah, Red Bulls for about 15, 20 minutes there to start the second half, they looked really good, but it wasn't enough.
And to be fair, I think United played very well aside from that stretch of Red Bull domination there to come out of the second half. The problem was just that lack of not even like the finishing. It was just the lack of touches, the lack of good touches in the final third that just we had chances, but we just couldn't convert those chances to go to shots even or quality shots anyways. And so, I mean, you have Robert saying that they've given up 43 goals this season. I talked about a stat last week before we came on, or when we were on last week before we played them, that they'd been outscored 16-1 in their last 5 matches, including a 5-0 loss and a 6-0 loss. And I thought, man, the teams that we have typically had trouble scoring against have been the teams that pack it in, and that is not what Red Bull does. They do not pack it in at all. So I thought we could tear them apart. And when we did in the first half, but only had 1 goal to show for it, that's when the frustration. Well, I wasn't frustrated at that point. I was nervous. And then the second half started, and that happened, and I was pissed. And then by the time we finally started dominating again, I was already too far upset. And the fact that we were able to get that winner is huge. I told my wife was laughing at me because I was a mess in that second half. And when we finally scored, I was excited, but I was angry. I was very angry. And she was very confused as to why I was angry that we scored.
Yeah, I will say this. Unfortunately, it took a while for that attacking mentality to get back onto the pitch, in the second half. But I think a lot of that had to do with the insertion of Amando Moreno and Romario Williams, who in their limited time on the pitch on Saturday played really well. I felt like they did a lot of things good, and they were able to push the ball forward. Like you could see even Amando's first few touches, like he looked comfortable on the ball, considering he, just came back from an ACL injury. And I felt like he had opportunities going forward. And I really, really wish that they had given that PK to Amando. Like, I understand giving to Justin, but I really wish they'd given to Amando, like coming back and give him an opportunity to get it back on the score sheet, And I feel like Justin's take on that penalty was just so awful. It was the worst one I've ever seen him take. But to see the mentality and the fact that United didn't quit, and you see us actually, because people have been complaining about how we just kind of sit back and let things happen, and we play for the draws in moments like that. We didn't. We kept pushing forward. We kept looking for opportunities, and getting the opportunity there in the 90, in the first minute of stoppage time on the corner. I mean, great delivery by Justin, fantastic header by Will. I feel like I wish we had scored more. I felt like we should have scored more, but and like Harry said earlier, everyone's gonna have a crappy match. I mean, this was a crappy 20 minutes that we've seen multiple times. It's not just an entirely crappy match. It's something that we keep seeing. We can't figure out why they just come out flat at times, and it's something that we have to fix going forward, especially in these matches against teams like Sacramento and Miami, the Miami FC, who are still looking to secure playoff positions.
And now, that being said, all of that negativity, we did end up coming away with 3 points. We finished the month of July with 13 points through 7 games.
Unbeaten in July.
Yeah, which is almost a 2 points per game rate, which is pretty good. We're on pace now for 63.5 points. If you take our points per game for the first 21 games and you apply that to the next 13, do we get to 62?
No, I don't think we do. I think we end up somewhere in the 49 to 54 point range, which will be safe, safe enough for the playoffs. But I don't think we get to what you said, 62. I don't think we get there.
Earl, save me.
Yeah, I think we do. I will make a safe bet to say that we do, especially with the new additions that we have. With Romario coming in, with Mondo coming back, we now have a pretty deep striking core. Our midfield is pretty deep as well. If you can include Nava coming back into the mix, if you can get Sergio coming back in from injury, Wehan coming back in and making an appearance. I mean, our midfield is pretty good. And then our back line, I mean, we still have only given up 16 goals, 17 goals all season?
I think it might be 17 now.
19.
Oh, it's 19 now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're still giving up less than 20 goals all season, and we're 21 games in. So, I mean, that's averaging 1 goal a game. So that's not too bad. So as long as we can score more than 1 goal a game, or hold a shutout with 0 and we only score 1, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I think we get to at least 62.
Okay. I think we definitely finish. What did you say, Seth? 40?
49-54.
49.
There.
Okay. So 10 more points. That's in 13 matches. I mean, if we do that, that's not going to be good enough.
No, it'll be good enough for the playoffs, but I don't think it's good enough for the expectation on the season. We have a lot of playoff caliber clubs that we still have to face on the schedule. I believe it's 9 out of 14 clubs, or 9 out of 13 now at this point against current playoff competitors. I just don't think we hit that 62. Now I could see maybe stretching it, maybe 56, 57, but I don't see 62. But we have to be consistent, though.
What's funny is that you say that, and then every game that we pick from here on out, there's probably only like 2 that you say we don't win in the moment, anyways. But now I think, I don't know. I'm looking at the schedule now, and you got Memphis, but that's here, and Memphis hasn't been Memphis of old. You got Colorado Springs. We know the free fall they're in. We got them twice, actually. El Paso here. I'm not scared of El Paso. San Antonio, in San Antonio, on the other hand, that one's and then Loyal. So, I mean, the Loyal and San Antonio games, and then the Sac Republic game, and maybe Miami, and maybe Memphis. So that's 5. I'm like, we should beat Los Dos. We should beat Monterey Bay. We should at least split with switchbacks. We should beat El Paso. We should beat RGV. We should beat Vegas. We got Galaxy again. I mean, it's a schedule that, yes, playoff teams are abound in it, but not playoff teams that I'm like confident will either be like, I don't think El Paso is going to be in the playoffs come the end of the year. Colorado Springs might not be the way they're going, and we've done fairly well against them in the past. So I understand where you're coming from, but I think we get to 60. 63, maybe. But I think for sure we get to 60. I think we finish with a home game, a playoff home game.
Yeah, I have a hard time looking at it. We drew a Sacramento earlier in the year. I felt like we didn't necessarily have a strong match that night out. Miami, we've never played before. I haven't seen too much of them. I'm going to be watching them this week ahead of the match on Saturday. Los Dos is going to Los Dos. We've got 2 matches with them. We've got 2 matches with Colorado. I know Harry says they're falling apart. Yes, Colorado Springs has been terrible over the past month and a half, and they did just give up 4 to a Phoenix Rising side that is not back. People, quit jumping all over Phoenix Rising's nuts for the foreseeable future. 1 win in a month and a half does not mean Phoenix Rising is back. Memphis is going to be
this is a family show.
Memphis is going to be interesting. We should beat Monterey. I see us beating El Paso, RGV. San Antonio, I probably see a loss there. Vegas is going to be interesting. Loyal could be interesting. So, I mean, yeah, I don't see us hitting 60. I think like I said, another 15, 16 points from here is reasonable. I think if we're on the lower end of that, if we're around the 11, I think that's a disappointment.
I'm going to make it official on the record that I don't like Angry Seth.
LA2 is tough because they're playing under COVID rules, no fans. Yeah, I mean, we play for a year without any fans, so it is what it is. We're going to be used to that. Yeah, I'm not saying. I mean, Los Dos is going to Los Dos. They've had some really big wins. They've also had some really funky losses. Don't think we get the dub in RGV. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, it's just El Paso is not the same. I don't think they've done enough this year. I don't see them being in the playoffs. I do have concerns about playing Colorado. They are still getting healthy, but they're not good at the back. So I don't know. But I mean, all of that's kind of a a long-winded answer to your question there, Jacob. So I just don't see 60. I don't. It is almost Earl's bedtime. That is correct. So yeah, so tomorrow night, Sacramento Republic FC comes into the lab for the first time since 2019. The last time they were here, they did drop a 3 spot on New Mexico United. But this is 2019. That's what I said. It's been a long time. Yeah. And United obviously has not been great at home. Well, yes, we only have the 1 loss, but we've been unable to finish matches in a lot of these opportunities. And Sacramento is a club that has a lot of guys like Roro, like Keiko. They have some guys out there that can put some goals up on some guys. They play a couple different styles. They looked good against SKC at times, and then they looked really good playing out wide on Saturday against Charleston Battery. Now, obviously, Battery is not a fantastic club, but that was an interesting match to watch. So Mark Briggs has Sacramento playing well. They've balanced the schedule well. They've managed the expectations between Open Cup play and the league. And so I think Sacramento is a club that we should be kind of worried about on Wednesday.
I'll agree. I think the way they're playing right now, they're definitely moving up and playing with a lot of confidence. I mean, they just beat Kansas City, and they do scare me a little bit. I don't think we lose. I'm just not 100% confident that we actually get the 3 points at home. But I think splitting, or if we can get 1 win out of these 2 games here at home, then I'm happy. And if it's Miami, I don't care. I'd rather be against Sacramento because that helps us playoff-wise since they're right behind us at the moment. But yeah, they're just looking really good right now.
Yeah.
John, I'll keep talking. Or go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sacramento, I've been watching a lot more of them. They've got guys, and I can't pronunciations. Douglas Martinez, come on.
Douglas, yeah.
Douglas, that drove me nuts the other night. I mean, they've got some guys that we are very familiar with. I mean, Jack Gers played well. Vitiello played really well against SAC. They're not scoring a ton of goals, but they're also not conceding a lot. Malik Foster's played well. I mean, they just have an abundance of talent across that front line. I think that's the strength for Sacramento. And then you've got guys behind them backing them up. So I don't think they're necessarily weak at the back, but I think there's opportunities to play from the wide position to create some havoc among the defense for Sacramento. But I mean, the big thing is going to be stopping and interrupting the attack going forward, especially from guys, from Rodrigo Lopez and Keiko and anyone, trying to work the ball up. I mean, Rodrigo's a guy that to me, he's Sergio. Well, he does what we want to see out of Sergio out of the midfield, but he does it 10 times better. And I also feel like he's better finishing wise than Sergio is. And so Roro's a guy that's really dangerous and really scary to watch tomorrow night.
I feel so I don't want to say this about a member of our team, but I feel so validated in my feelings when we made the Sergio Rivas signing and the lack of excitement that I had compared to everybody else following this club, basically. And I don't think he's lived up to the hype that was there. But I digress. Yes, Rodrigo Lopez, I liked him last year with our GV. His story is incredible at going back there and leading that team. Being the PK that sends them through was a spectacular moment for him, I'm sure. And I hope they like you said, they beat a Charleston team that's barely a team this season, and that makes me believe that they're gettable right now. I mean, they're coming off a high. I thought maybe that Charleston game might slip them up, which I'm kind of glad it didn't, because I think they might be due for just a letdown, so to speak, with what they've been going through lately. And so I think they have a chance to drop points here and maybe lose all three. We'll just have to see what happens. But I'm excited. I'm going to be at the game. Me and Sombrero Man are gonna be on the sideline there, and I'm excited for that. And hopefully we get to celebrate 3 points.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Earl, what are your thoughts on Sacramento tomorrow night? Real quick, Harry, appreciate you being here, buddy. We will talk to you later.
Thanks for keeping us honest, Robert. Good night, Harry.
Appreciate it. I can digress sometimes. So what are my thoughts on tomorrow's match? It can go either way. Either one, we play like we did on Saturday night or Sunday night and we draw, or we play really good and we knock Sacramento and catch them on their hangover, their Open Cup hangover that they're still on right now. Catch them on that and we walk away with 3 points. I mean, it depends on what team shows up.
What's the key for you tomorrow night, Earl? Like, where do you think United needs to be at their best?
Jacob, should I?
Yeah, you should, because
Yeah.
I love that it's the answer every time, and Seth continues to just ask you this question.
Yeah. So the key for tomorrow is score more goals than Sacramento.
Where do you think those goals come from, Earl?
I can't do it tonight. I just can't.
Oh man,
Because it's usually the side of
Players on the
someone's
pitch,
foot.
right?
Yeah, usually the side of someone's foot is where it comes from.
Oh man.
Usually from a United player. Yeah, I can go on all night with this one.
Yeah.
But really, I see us getting a penalty.
Oh man.
Because that seems to be the only way we can score goals is a penalty. So I see us drawing a penalty somehow.
We scored
What are you talking
2
about, Earl?
not on penalties on Saturday.
Close enough.
And the one penalty we had, we didn't score.
Yes.
Close enough.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Either way. Either way.
Earl,
So yeah,
what's your score prediction?
3-1.
Oh, thank you.
3. Wow. Okay. Jacob, for you.
Wait. Hold on. Let me check.
No.
I forgot. We're playing Sacramento, not the Miami.
No.
We'll get to the
1-1.
Miami here in just a minute.
1-1?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
All right, Jacob. For you, is there a particular matchup you want to watch on Wednesday night? Like who needs to better their opponent for United?
3-1 sec. I think Kalen has to anchor that center back position there, and if he can do that, I have faith in the guys around him. I have faith in him too. I mean, we've talked about some struggles this year, but there's an attacking team that looked really good against SKC and has looked good. They put up 4 on Charleston, 4-2, right? And so if we can limit them and even if they have chances, as long as they're not the super dangerous variety, I've trusted Alex and that back line to step up and shut them down. That being said, 2-1 is my score prediction because it's 2-1. That's the score of the season so far. So it will be 2-1 to Mexico United.
Yeah, I look at this, like I said, Sacramento's dangerous. I think this is a match that Sacramento could come in and pick up at least a point, if not more, if we're not able to control the midfield. If we need to limit the opportunities from row, limit the opportunities for Sacramento to get forward. And we really have to prevent them from trying to play through the middle. We've seen them do different things throughout the season. Against Charleston, they tried to play out wide a little bit more, like I mentioned earlier, and it worked well for them. But if they play through the middle, which is what Red Bulls 2 did on Sunday, we could potentially get destroyed. Because while Kalen is still a premier center back, he doesn't have the pace to deal with direct route one football through the center. And Sacramento is a club that can do that. So I think, again, like I said, control the midfield, control the opportunities, prevent Rodrigo Lopez from getting forward and linking up with those other forwards from Sacramento. I'm going to say 1-0 United. Low scoring match. I don't think we put up multiple goals against these guys. They don't give up a lot of goals. So
They just gave up 2 to Charleston.
Yes, no, I agree. I know they did, and they gave up 3 a couple weeks ago to Oakland. But as a whole, they don't give up a lot of goals. They're pretty stout in the back, and their keepers have been pretty good all season. So I think it's going to be 1-0. Yeah, Danny did really well. New Mexico United legend, Danny Vitiello. Yeah. So there you go. 1-0 United tomorrow night against Sacramento. And moving on to Saturday with Miami FC.
Ask it. Fucking ask it.
I was waiting for Earl to say but you beat him to it.
Earl was asleep.
Miami FC
Actually,
is not a club
I was
I've
not
watched.
asleep. I was watching Demolitions on Facebook.
We are live on Facebook right now. You're watching other stuff. Thank you. I appreciate the professionalism, Earl.
This is why the answer to the question you always ask him is outscore the opponent.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have time to research because he's watching Demolitions on YouTube or Facebook.
So yeah, like I said, I haven't seen.
Hold on. In all fairness, I was going to watch this on Facebook, to see what the comments were and see anything like that. But then I saw Demolitions, like, ooh, squirrel bait.
Okay. Yeah, so the Miami FC, I really don't know too much about them. I'm going to watch a little bit of them this week, kind of get a feel for what they want to do before I write up my preview this for that match. But forward New Mexico United play Romeo Parks does play for the Miami FC, 4 goals on the season for them. Robert over in chat saying the Miami sucks. Miami, in 5 attempts playing the Western Conference so far this season, has picked up 1 point. They have lost 3 matches. I think it's 3 or 4 matches against the West. They lost to Colorado. They lost to Phoenix. They lost to San Antonio. They lost to Los Dos. So, yeah, they have not done well playing against the Western Conference this season. Again, this isn't, like I said, I don't know a lot about they're not bad on the road, but I feel like this is a match that United should go into favored and have a pretty good opportunity to pick up 3 points against another Eastern Conference club.
Yeah, I agree. They've kind of been an up and down club all season. They've looked decent at times, and then other times they lose 4-1 to Pittsburgh, and you're like, what are you doing, Miami? But no, definitely a winnable game. I would say a game that we probably should win if we have aspirations of being hosting a home playoff game and making some noise in the playoffs. I think this is a game that you look at and you're like, okay, yeah, that should be 3 points, much like the Red Bulls game, which was 3 points. So if we can get through, I think if we can get 4 points from these 2 games, then we're sitting pretty good. And if we can get 6, then I'm gonna be real happy with where we're at. And I feel like 6 is a good possibility. If we can get 3 points tomorrow night, I think Saturday just is a game that we will be kicking ourselves if we do not win.
Yeah, Miami is a side, they don't concede a lot of goals. They're pretty good at the back. They also don't score a lot of goals. They've only scored more than 1 goal, from what I can tell, 4 times this season. So they're not necessarily a threat going forward. And we're familiar with Romeo Parks. I don't know too much about many of the other players, but obviously with Romeo, he's a guy. He's big. He's got some pace, but he's going to be more of a hold-up guy, situational guy, poacher. He's going to pick up some goals in close quarter situations. Earl, what does United have to do to keep Romeo from being a threat inside the area on Saturday?
Up him in the midfield. If he gets into our back line and starts harassing Kalen and harassing Will if he's on the back line or anything like that, it's gonna be a long night for us. Just speaking on Romeo Park's side. But if we were to contain him just in the midfield and make him give up the ball somewhere else, make him make bad choices, bad passes here and there, I think it frustrates him and he gets taken off about the 60th minute.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't necessarily know how much you're going to be able to stop Romeo in the midfield because of how they like to play. They like to press up a little bit higher. They like to get Romeo. You know, he's going to want to play off the shoulder of some guys, maybe get some route one football going. But yeah, if you can disrupt that play going forward, whether it's stopping him in transition or preventing the midfielders from getting forward, then I think that's where there's going to be some success for United. At the back, I think we're pretty solid. Who do you think needs to get involved offensively for this match, Roll?
Offensively, I would love to see either Bees get involved if he's healthy, or Sergio get involved if he's healthy. If not, both of them get involved. I would also love to see Mondo score a goal at home for the first time in, I believe, a year.
Pretty close.
Somewhere's around there. I would also love to see Romario make some kind of difference and make the crowd go crazy.
Yeah, I think those are some good shouts. I think Amando, Bees, and Romario could all have a direct impact on this match if they do play. I don't see Sergio. I mean, Sergio's obviously out. We don't know what the injury is. He was listed as out for tomorrow night on our match notes. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with him. I'm going back and looking around to double check your stat there as far as when Amando last scored at home. And wow, I'm still going. That's pretty bad. Oh, here we go. September 18th. Amando Moreno, 48th minute against Real Monarchs. So yeah.
So 11
pretty close. Yeah. Right around 11 months since he last scored at home. So Steven doing it over in chat. That beard is looking solid, Jacob. You got this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So guys, Saturday night, the Miami FC.
Henry.
You
said the name and it didn't dawn on me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, he's a buddy
Anyway,
of mine.
the Miami FC coming to the lab. Jacob, scoreline prediction Saturday night.
So they have some offensive players that I recognize. Christian Sorto played for RGV last year, and I believe scored on us all the time. Every time that we played them, it felt like, anyways. And then they have who was the other name that I was looking at? 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Oh, that's why it was on my freaking computer. Jackass. Kyle Murphy was a stud for Memphis last year. And when they signed him this offseason, it was a huge get for them. And so they made splashes. I know a lot of people talked him up this offseason, so I'm not sure why they haven't necessarily been as good as some thought they might be. Based on their additions and who they brought back and everything. But since you came to me first, I'm going to go with the 2-1 scoreline.
2-1. All right. So I just want to correct one thing real quick.
Are you correcting me? Because if you are, I don't want to hear it.
I'm correcting you because Christian Sorto has not scored against New Mexico United, at least in 2021.
Seriously?
Elvis
swore he-
Amo, on the other hand.
You sir, or fake news.
I felt like he scored on us multiple times last year.
You're thinking Amo.
No, because they played together, and I could have swore Sordo scored too.
No. Amo scored in, let's see, October 9th. He's also scored.
Okay, he does not matter right now. I don't know why you're still going down this path.
May 1st. So Elvis Amo did score twice against us. So there you go. Earl, scoreline prediction Saturday night.
My scoreline is actually sitting in the chat right now by Robert, because I made the mistake and thought that we played Miami first and Sacramento. But nope, it was the opposite. So 3-1.
I came here for accurate reporting. Gotta get this.
I don't know why you're coming here for accurate reporting.
All right. So Jacob, what did you said? 2-1. Earl said 3-1. I'm gonna go 2-0 Saturday night at the Lab. I think that's a fantastic opportunity for New Mexico United.
So in response to Steven's comment about accurate reporting, we're literally the KRQE of podcasts.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
What? I'm lost.
I'm talking about a certain weatherman who calls for 90, 92 and sunny, and then it turns out to be like 72 in monsoon season.
Okay. I don't even know what to say to that.
Moving on.
So I said 2-0, 3-1, 2-1. Those are your scoreline predictions for this weekend. Great opportunity for New Mexico United to pick up another 3 points. Hopefully pick up 4 to 6 points this weekend. Miami sucks, leaky in the back and no direction on offense. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it.
What did you call me?
Leaky at the back.
Well,
That's
there's
what-
the accuracy.
Yeah, there you go. So great opportunity for the guy to pick up 4 to 6 points this weekend, hopefully against a quality side and a not so quality side. Do want to obviously mention before we get out of here that Team of the Week announcements did come out. Nico Brett made the starting 11 for the Team of the Week, and Will Seymour got a nod to the bench. So congratulations to those guys for their performances on Saturday against New York Red Bulls 2. No one is up for goal of the week, save of the week, anything like that. But I hate to admit it, but Aiden Quinn had a fucking fantastic goal. Now, a lot of that does come down to the failure of the Colorado Springs keeper, but
not a lot of it.
Yeah.
Damn near all of it.
Exactly. But
he
yeah,
literally stands there and watches it.
Yeah, he got all sorts of turned around on that.
Go
Terrible
right
play
by
him.
him.
You have to award the Olympico. You have to. I'm sorry.
I don't think you do.
Compared to the other goals that are nominated,
I didn't see the other goals, but
okay.
Olympicos are the most overrated goal in soccer because 95% of the time it's just pure dumb luck that the keeper was
exactly
doing something stupid. And I don't like to reward luck.
You know, I have to say I think they're less overrated than Panenka.
I don't know, dude. That Panenka freaking was filthy.
No, it was. It absolutely was.
Filthy.
Yeah, I think it's easier to pull off a Panenka because you know very few keepers are actually thinking that you're actually going to do it. You know, so yeah, I feel like the Olympico is something that you see far less than. Thank you, Robert. We appreciate that.
Shit.
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. A lot of good matches this week. I know earlier Harry said that the United Sacramento was the number 2 match on his top matches for the week. Are there any other matches that stand out to you guys this week as ones that we should keep an eye on?
I haven't even looked at the schedule for this week. There's been a whirlwind of things going on. Let's see
All right,
here.
well, here's a rundown. Also
I got it,
on
I got
Wednesday
it,
night,
I got
New
it,
York Red
I
Bulls
got
2,
it,
Memphis
I got it,
901.
I got it. Where the fuck is it?
Saturday we have
I don't
Indy
have
11
it.
in
Go ahead and
Pittsburgh.
read it.
Legion against Atlanta United 2, Loudoun versus LA Galaxy 2,
Oh, I got it.
Tampa versus
I
Detroit,
got it.
Lou City and Charleston, Memphis 901 and Hartford, Monterey Bay and El Paso, Orange County and Colorado, San Diego, San Antonio, Rising Las Vegas Lights, and Sacramento RGV round out the weekend.
Can I
So is
root
that-
for? Go ahead, Earl.
Hold on. Is that Rising match in Vegas or is it in Phoenix?
It's in Phoenix.
Okay, so that's one match I want to see. And the second match I want to see is the Lou City. Who did
Charleston.
you say? Lou City, Charleston.
I like how when you realized it was Charleston, it
Yeah,
sounded like
City
you-
plays Charleston.
Never mind about that.
Can
Just a Phoenix match then.
Can I root for San Antonio?
Yes.
Okay.
I would rather see San Antonio win. San Antonio, that's going to be an interesting matchup. It does have implications for New Mexico United if results go our way. The club did point out that if we do manage to pick up 6 points, we could potentially move into second place in the West. So yeah, that's a match that's going to have some implications for us. The Colorado Springs match could have some potential implications if Orange County pulls up another win. So yeah, some matches to watch, and I think Monterey could potentially beat El Paso on Saturday evening.
Guarantee it. I guarantee you they beat El Paso Saturday.
You guarantee that one? Okay. So yeah, there's some interesting matches this weekend to keep an eye on, especially if Colorado is not healthy, if El Paso is not playing well. I mean, they've lost 3 in a row. El Paso is just a shitstorm right now. So
El Paso's been a fraud all season. They started off like shit. They played a lot more games than everybody else, which drove them up the table because they were getting results from them. And then now they're playing like shit again. They are. My guess is they don't make the playoffs. If I had to say if there was looking at the standings now, I think there's only one team that falls out, and I think it's El Paso.
yeah, I mean, looking at how things are now, there's a little bit of separation now from 4th to 5th. I mean, there's 5 points there. Republic does have a match in hand, but United has matches in hand on everybody else. So, except for San Antonio, basically. But yeah, looking down through the rest, I mean, there's some room for some movement there. I don't know who ends up in those final playoff spots, but El Paso is a club that I could see fall out. Las Vegas could potentially fall out.
I have way more faith in Las Vegas staying up than El Paso.
No, I do too. But if they can't string together enough results, then they will fall out. But I think they're going to outperform El Paso through the end of the season. Yeah, they've got 2 matches in hand on them. They're only 1 point back. So room there for Las Vegas to move up. Plenty of room for El Paso to move down. San Diego has most goals scored, and San Antonio has the fewest conceded. Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic match. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I do have one final question for you guys before we get out of here. And I hate to do it. We talked about it last week. We talked about John Morrissey. We talked about his projections. The big thing after the weekend was that Phoenix is supposedly
living
back.
Rent free in your head, Seth.
No,
Don't pay attention to Phoenix.
They're
Fuck
not
'em.
living rent free in my head. It's the reaction from around the USL Championship saying that Phoenix is back, that they're back on track. That, I mean, the Monday morning thread over on the subreddit was Phoenix rising. People are like, oh, Phoenix is back on track with the number of points they're going to get and all this kind of stuff in their playoff projections. Are they back? Does one win over a poor Colorado Springs side, is that enough to convince you that Phoenix is back?
What is your definition of back? Because if it's back to being the Phoenix Rising that we thought they were going to be and top of the table and continue for a championship, no. If it means they're back as they're going to compete for the last 1 or 2 playoff spots and have a decent chance of getting it, then yes. They're only 4 points back of 7th place right now. they are 5 points back of El Paso in 6th place, but have 2 matches in hand on them.
Mm-hmm.
They have a schedule that's not, I mean, to me, the Western Conference is just tough, kind of top to bottom. So schedules are going to be about the same, but they've got Vegas, Orange County, El Paso, RGV, Colorado, Oakland, San Diego, Monterey Bay, Sacramento, Red Bulls 2, RGV, and Atlanta United 2. So thank you, scheduling gods, for giving them Atlanta United 2 on the last day of the fucking season. And yet we're the conspirators with the league to screw them over. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like you look at that, you got Sacramento, who I think will be a playoff team. You've got Loyal, who will be a playoff team. And then you've got El Paso and Oakland, who's fighting for a playoffs, but they're not scary. Another Colorado match. And Vegas, who's fighting for a playoff team. Their schedule is fairly easy going down the stretch if they can find at least any kind of form.
Yeah.
And so I would not be surprised if they end up in 7th, 6th place and everybody's talking about them making a run in the playoffs. Now, I don't know if they'll make a run in the playoffs or not. The playoffs are kind of a crapshoot anyways. Trying to figure out a single elimination playoff game or a playoff bracket is kind of impossible. We saw that last year with Phoenix and El Paso going down in the first round. So they are back in the sense that they have looked better the last 3 games. I mean, they are on a 4-match shutout streak, which before that had happened, we were talking about their defense just being a sieve. And now all of a sudden they've rattled off four straight undefeated against Lou City, who we've talked about as being really good. Sacramento, who we're talking about is in really good form. Oakland, who's a playoff potential. And then Colorado Springs, who, yes, they have been struggling, but they're still a top 3 team in the league as it sits right now, or top 3 team in the West as it sits right now, and they destroyed them 4-0. So as much as I don't want it to be true, Phoenix definitely looks like a team that very well could be a playoff team come November or October.
I think the only problem with your analysis is, despite the shutout streak, Phoenix is still extremely leaky at the back. They're giving up lots of opportunities.
They are.
And a lot of the success that they've had in these last 4 matches has been because of Ben Lund. And that's the only thing. That's the only reason that they didn't lose to
what
City.
Tells you that's not going to change?
Nothing.
Because as far as Ben Lund, the defense is going to be a sieve at the back, but we personally saw Ben Lund stand on his head twice in a row earlier this season. He's done it now 4 times in a row here. He is that keeper. He is that guy. So as long as they have him between the sticks and an offense that does any kind of clicking like it did against Colorado Springs, you're looking at a team that, while the back 3 or 4 or the back line, however many they want to put back there, is questionable, they just need them to make enough plays and Lund to stand on his head, which normally you sit here and say, well, he can't do that every match. Well, he's done it 4 fucking matches in a row.
Yeah.
And we saw him do it 2 matches in 3 days to us. He is that capable of doing that on a night in and night out basis. So because of that, I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt that they can at least make a run here.
Yeah, Lund has been the guy. He's been the game changer for them more than anybody else on that side this year, because without him, they lose any number of these matches because they don't have the defensive ability to close out clubs this year and prevent opportunities like they have in the past. Looking at the Colorado match, they surrendered a ton of possession. They sat back early, played off the counter, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think against a better defensive club than Colorado Springs, Phoenix doesn't get those opportunities. And so I think that's something that we see kind of disappear in the coming matches. Now, Earl, on paper, Phoenix's back end of their schedule appears to be fairly friendly for them. There is a there's a very real possibility that outside of Atlanta and Charleston, I think it's who we said is on their schedule. Where's my mouse? There it is. Red Bulls 2 and Atlanta United. Outside of those two, there's a possibility that Rising could see losses in a number of these matches if they don't play consistently good attacking football. I mean, so Earl, the same question to you. I mean, is Rising back to you in terms of, as Jacob put it, being in the playoff hunt, and can they sustain it through the end of the season?
I'm gonna pretend like you didn't ask that question. Is that okay?
Fine by me. All right.
So here's my take.
Why?
Here's my take. Here it is. Phoenix beat a struggling Colorado Springs team. No, they're not back. You beat a struggling Colorado team who's lost more matches than they've played in the past month.
Why are you putting in the position to be a Phoenix defender? I don't like this position. But I try to look at this rationally.
They're not back though.
And rationally, yes, they're. If you look at the playoff standings right now,
rationally,
out of El Paso, Vegas, Los Dos, Oakland, and Phoenix.
Oh dear God!
What two out of those do you think make it?
I didn't hear your list.
El Paso, Vegas, Los Dos, Roots, and Rising.
Vegas and Roots.
I could see that.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Phoenix has 2 matches in hand on Roots and is only a point behind them. We talked about them being behind El Paso 5 points, but being 2 games in hand on them.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a game in hand on Los Dos and are 3 behind them. All it takes in this situation, they play Oakland, they play Los Dos, they play Lights twice? No, just this weekend, I think. And I think they play El Paso again. So they have a game against all 4 of those opponents, and they have games in hand. And I don't know. I have enough respect for them, even if I hate them, that if gun to my head, you're telling me to pick 2 teams there, Phoenix is one of them, hands down.
Nope.
All right. Fair enough. Great discussion.
Here's why Phoenix won't make it. They still have Rick Kantz as their head coach.
They don't want to get rid of him anymore. The fans are fine with him now after a 4-0 win.
They literally had a fucking tifo on him at home.
That was before the
during
4-0 win, Earl.
Okay.
That was before the 4-0 win.
So if Phoenix loses, or when Phoenix loses again on Saturday when they play, are you gonna go back and say that they're back on the bandwagon to ship him out?
Yeah, because that's Phoenix fans. They're flippity floppity. They're waffle irons. They good times they're fine. Bad times the world is falling or the sky is falling and they want to kill themselves. That's just
a waffle iron.
It's just the way. That's the way those fans are.
You're a curling iron.
I don't know why you're getting mad at me for how the fans react to this stuff. It's not my fault.
You're a curling iron.
I don't know what that means, but thank you.
All right, so Jacob is defending Phoenix Rising this evening. Earl is against.
Yeah, because
Phoenix
you guys
Rising.
are idiots.
Coming from the one who defends a Phoenix Rising.
Look, I'm looking at this rationally, not with my little pee-pee heart.
All right, everyone. I think
I like how you
just
added heart
about do it
that.
for us this evening. Great discussions all around. Earl is on the El Paso wagon. Jacob Phoenix have come join San Antonio. I've been high on San Antonio all season. I really have. Even
I have not.
No, you haven't. No, I was.
Jacob
high
is
on San Antonio
just
early on.
scrubbing Rick Kant's dirty gym socks. That's his problem.
I'm not on their bandwagon, okay? I just
But
think
before he
that
scrubs
if you look
them,
at those teams, they are one of the top 2 options to come into the playoffs out of those 5 teams. That's all I'm saying.
before he scrubs them, he takes them, and this is a glove, by the way, And before he puts them in the wash, he sniffs them, and then puts them in the wash.
All right, great discussions all around. Appreciate you guys both being here this evening.
Earl
I think
licks
that's gonna
Yuma's feet.
just about do it for us.
Clean. So he cleans them.
Jacob, get us out of here.
Which isn't hard because he's always on the ground, so they're usually already clean.
Fair. Anyways, we have ran the gamut tonight.
Hang on, can we talk about New Mexico Yaffle?
No, we cannot.
Oh,
No,
I'm
we
so
no, Earl, no. Jeez.
New Mexico Yaffle, for whatever
God.
reason, has decided to schedule.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, Earl. I hate you right now. Hate you with a passion right now. We ran the gamut from WWE to talking about 3 United matches with a lot of nonsense in between there. So that's what you should expect from this podcast. We will talk about real things, but there will also be a lot of nonsense. That's why our episodes are an hour and a half all the time. But if you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you hate it. Jacob is a curling iron. Yes, that is also something that was said on this podcast, as was punting a kid. But if you enjoy it, or if you just want to,
if you don't see us next week, if you don't see us next week, it's because we were canceled.
No, I don't think we've said anything cancelable.
We
Yet.
talked about punting a baby.
Not tonight, anyway.
We did not. There was not a baby. It was a kid. First of all,
Oh,
and it wasn't. It wasn't talking. We weren't talking about it in the context that we would do it. We were talking about the context that somebody did do it back in the 80s, because that's when Seth was in his formative years.
I do want to mention real quick. Sorry, Jacob. Guys, this is episode number 95.
95
full episodes of this. We have done bonus things, so technically we're over the century mark, but 95 full episodes tonight. In 5 weeks, we will be celebrating our 100th episode. I'm working on getting something set up for that. So hopefully,
Can we do a giveaway?
If you want to, I don't.
Man,
We'll have to talk about.
I want to give away Jacob.
We'll give out to whichever fan base bids the most.
Let's do my own podcast. Screw you guys.
So yeah, working on setting up something for that. I mean, if you want to do a giveaway, we can talk about doing a giveaway off air. But working on getting something for episode 100. So be here in 5 weeks.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, there you go.
Anyways, if you loved this kind of stuff, if you hated this kind of stuff, if you're indifferent on this kind of stuff and just need something on in the background, sorry, I got really thrown off because why do you have where do you work now? Who needs a forklift operator? Anyways, if you love it, hate it, indifferent to it, tune us again. Oh my gosh. What, Earl? You're muted, Earl.
Hey, Steven, if you want to go ahead and shoot Jacob a text to get my number, I can help you out with that.
I think he's lying. Is what last I knew, he was a surveyor, and they don't need forklifts in surveying. So, but if he's serious, I will get him in touch with you.
Yeah, if you're serious, go and get in touch with Jacob. Who get in touch with me? Who get in touch with my people to get back to you.
And
Cut 3 inches, 3 foot back curb. There you go.
What?
I worked for a land surveyor. My grandfather was a land surveyor.
Oh, you and Steven should talk then. Because punching. What the? Oh my god!
Earthquake in Albuquerque. Apparently.
Okay. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Next week, Tuesday, be here 9:00. We will be talking about 2 United matches that happened, and we will be previewing 2 more. And with that, until next week, somos.